State lawmaker has called a federal investigation into Tennessee's Department of Child Services. Aftyn Behn says she has concerns for children with disabilities and concerns about oversight into allegations involving drugs and sex trafficking. Lauren Lowry joins us live in the studio. Lauren, a lot to get to here. This comes after a 2025 report of the department.
Yeah, it didn't look so good. Let's put it that way. The Tennessee Second Look Commission did that report. They documented several cases involving runaways, trafficking concerns while kids were in state custody, as well as a child admitting to using meth inside a DCS office. Just think about that. So in this case involving the meth, the commission said there was nothing documented about a follow-up investigation to determine whether other children might have been exposed to meth. In one runaway case, one child ran away 8 different times, but only 2 reports were filed. And in one involving trafficking, the child was not given a forensic interview because she was considered a high flight risk. Commission members questioned whether an interview could have still happened, but at a detention center instead. During a legislative commission hearing this week, Representative Harold Love of Nashville questioned the DCS commissioner about the report's findings. Margie Quinn said those cases date back a few years, and the department has implemented changes to prevent similar things since then. Now, as far as concerns go for children with disabilities, Aftyn Behn wrote in her request to the Department of Justice that children are sometimes placed in restrictive or non-family settings instead of integrated family-based environments, and that the systemic practices are limiting stability for children with disabilities in state custody. Basically, it's making hard for them because of what's going on. DOJ has not responded yet to her request, but we'll keep following it. Lydia.